Middlesex guaranteed a place in the knockout stages of the NatWest T20 Blast after defeating Hampshire by 43 runs at the Ageas Bowl. Ryan Higgins with a night to remember with the ball. Batting first after winning the toss, Paul Stirling and David Milan, back after his heroics with the England Lions, opened up with a stand of 27 from the first 20 deliveries of the match. Milan had made 11 when he offered Ryan McLaren a return catch. Owen Morgan came and went quickly, out for 2 as he picked out Liam Dawson off the bowling of Gavin Griffiths. Stirling struck the first 6 of the night off the penultimate ball of the power play, but he was out to the last ball of the 6th over, having his stumps disturbed by Brad Wheel. The Irishman departed for 18 and left with his side in a spot of bother on 40 for 3, but not for the first time in recent games. John Simpson came to the rescue. Still, the visitors had stuttered to 68 for 3 at the halfway stage and needed a lot of improvement in the second half of the innings, Simpson clearing the rope for a second time. But there was still an awful lot to do as we moved into the final 5 overs, Simpson into the 40s with 6 number 3. George Bailey had batted carefully until now, but the man who excelled in that crucial win over Surrey on the previous night went after the inexperienced Griffiths. The Aussie hit 4 fours in the 17th over, one which cost 20 runs and gave Middlesex the impetus they needed. The third of those boundaries carried Bailey to a second successive 50, this one occupying 38 balls. The experienced international has found his form just when it was needed. Simpson, meanwhile, is in the form of his life at the moment, both with the bat and behind the stumps, and his third 4 to go with his 3 sixes had him at his half-century from 32 balls. He was out a couple of deliveries later, Wheel with his second wicket as the vital 4th wicket partnership was ended on 114. James Franklin was then bowled by McLaren for a single, leaving it to Bailey to take his side to a very respectable final score of 181 for 6, some effort from where they were at one stage. Bailey was out to the last ball of the innings for a 76 made from 49 balls. Hampshire just couldn't get going in reply and soon found themselves in big trouble when Adam Wheater skied James Fuller to Milan, and 4 balls later Tom Alsop did the same to give Morgan some catching practice. Only 28 runs came off the 6 overs of power play before Sean Irvine tried to get his side moving with this maximum of Stirling. Irvine was just about keeping his side in this contest, he and Dawson adding 44 runs for the 3rd wicket. But on 16, Dawson chipped Higgins' first ball of the night to Milan. Stephen Finn then had Shahid Afridi held by Fuller after making 6, the home team on 71 for 4 in the 11th over. Higgins, who took his maiden T20 wicket on the previous evening, then removed Irvine for 36 with a slower ball, and Middlesex were just where they wanted to be. It was left to Joe Weatherly and McLaren to keep the match alive, the latter clearing the rope off Toby Rowland-Jones. But Higgins then all but wrapped up the game by having Weatherly held just inside the rope by Morgan, and then removing McLaren next ball as he swept to Bailey after making 23. The collapse continued into the next over as Lewis McManus nicked off to Finn, while Fuller had Brad Taylor mistiming to Stirling at short 3rd man. Higgins ended with the fabulous figures of 5 for 13 from 3.1 overs, equalling the best by any bowler in this season's competition, he bowling Wheel as Hampshire were dismissed in the last over for 138. That gave Middlesex a victory by 43 runs, Fuller with 3 for 24, and that means they're now sure of a place in the knockout stages. 2 more wins against Essex at Lords next Thursday and Gloucestershire in Bristol on Friday could yet mean a home tie in the last 8.